please bear with me if I'm not looking directly at you the whole time. So I am fully in procrastination mode right now, but I did really want to share this story with you because it happened yesterday, and I think that this is one of the things that can happen to people or stops people from stepping out in the first place. And so I wanted to share. A good few months ago, I was booked to speak at Doula UK conference, and due to unforeseen circumstances, right at the last moment, I had to pull out, and I felt terrible about it. And part of the way that I made up the fact that I had to let everybody down at the last minute was I agreed to go to their AGM yesterday and do a 3-hour workshop. And whilst I won't go into the roller coaster that happened just a few days before, like 48 hours before, there was another big question mark about whether I was going to be going. I went, and there were about 30 women there, and there was a really, really great vibe. And I was talking about mindset and money in birth, and really for doulas, the mindset shifts and changes that they need to be prepared to make if they want to treat their business as a business. And the vibe was high and everybody was getting it. And about, I don't know, 2 hours into the 3-hour talk, one of the ladies at the front said, I just don't agree with that. And then she looked at the lady next to her and she went, do you agree with that? I just don't agree with that. And both of the women really just expressed their displeasure at what it was that I was teaching and sharing. And for anybody doing any type of public speaking, any time that you are putting yourself up there, putting your heart, your work, your dreams, your thoughts, your everything up on stage, the one thing that we are all terrified of is someone saying, that's a load of shit. And obviously they didn't do that because they're lovely and they're doulas, but that's how it felt. And hey, Eleanor. And I found myself, do you know what? Everybody was really supportive in the room towards me. And I received some really lovely messages afterwards with people saying, I felt that you handled that really, really well. But the reason I'm sharing this story is because ultimately, the worst thing that could have happened to me on stage happened. And I didn't die. And I still delivered a great workshop. And what happened, oh, somebody's at the door, they look formal, hang on a second. I'm gonna have to get that. Bear with me, I will be back. Oh, sorry, I've got to pop back. I just made myself sound really important. I lied. I said, I'm doing an interview at the moment. He was like, oh, sorry. So the worst thing that could have happened, and nobody died. But I am so, so grateful to those women. And one of them in particular who came up to me, we had a 10-minute break in between going between the second session and the third session. And she came up to me and she said, look, I'm not trying to be confrontational. I just don't agree with what it is that you're saying. And I was like, do you know what? We are all entitled to our own opinions. And as a coach and a mentor, I really recognize that there are 1,000,001 roads to Rome. And if what you're doing is working for you, then knock yourself out, continue going. But there are a lot of women in here who what they are doing is not working for them. And based on my experience of working with, well, through paid and free programs now, thousands of service providers, this is what I have found to be true. And you can take what you like and leave the rest. And so it was, she came over in the break and said that to me, and we had that engagement and interaction. And what it felt for me was very, this is not a personal attack on me. This is just somebody sharing the fact that they have a different opinion. And I think that that is a really important thing for you guys to take on board when you run into that, because inevitably, as you step out of your comfort zone and as you take a stand for things, there are going to be people that disagree. And the moment that you take it personally, it hurts. The moment that you are able to respect that other people have different ways of doing it and different perspectives, it makes it a lot easier to say, live and let live. The second thing that she said, and it was so powerful to me. So when I stood up, I was really honest. I was like, right, I kind of need a pee. I'm quite nervous. I know you all think that I love doing these things, and I do love doing them, but like I feel nervous every time I step up because I want people to get a lot from what I'm sharing. And I'd already had a little bit of an introduction, and I introduced myself in terms of what I had done, but I didn't really introduce myself from a perspective of this is who I am. And what she said to me in the break was, I don't mean to be rude, Susie, but I've never heard of you. I don't know who you are. And I was like, well, that's cool. I didn't expect you to know who I am. And I kind of had an introduction. So that's cool. But what she meant was not, you didn't get an introduction, but I don't know who you are and what you stand for. And what was really interesting is at the end of the session, we did a hot seat session where I invited 2 people up from the group and I gave them some on-the-spot coaching. And obviously I talked about everything always working out for me, affirmations and just mindset in general. But one of the ladies asked, she had a question around messaging. I'm like, yay, let's talk about the messaging. And what led really beautifully was me talking about why it's important to really own your story in your marketing and really share with people where you've come from and why it is that you do what you do, because those stories and those messages are what makes you unique. And what came from that part of the session was me saying, and Kayla addressed the fact that she didn't know me from them and was a bit really confused by who I was. And that's because I was nervous at the start and I didn't give the full introduction. And there was probably a part of me that did, if I'm honest, feel like people have heard me say this many times before because this audience does kind of know me, but she didn't. And what that led was for me sharing where I come from, the fact that I'm a mum of 4 and life is busy, but also why helping women to create economic freedom in their businesses is so freaking important to me. And me sharing about my parents passing and them not living into their fullest potential. And the idea of me not living into my fullest potential feels devastating. And the idea of you not living into your fullest potential is devastating to me. Like my calling, my gift, the reason that I'm here is to support as many women as possible to step beyond limitations, beyond their self-imposed boundaries and say, I'm fucking great and I can help you. I can help you. Like that's what I'm here to do. And that part, it was so beautiful because I'm saying to people, this is the thing that will connect you. This is the thing that will make you different from everybody else that is offering a similar service to you. And as I'm there sharing my why, like 20 minutes before the end, I'm nearly sobbing, they're nearly sobbing, and the whole energy of the room, and particularly the 2 women who had been like, we don't agree with you, we don't know where you're coming from, you're wrong. the whole energy of the room changed. And that's exactly the right time. That's exactly when it should have been. It would have been different if it had been at the front. It's just kind of a run-of-the-mill thing. But so everything's always working out for me. Everything happens in the perfect time. But it was the most beautiful example of how powerful and how much you can elevate your marketing when you're really connected to where you've come from and the steps that have guided you into the moment, and then you share it. So I wanted that's the story. It started off really well, but then that feeling of, oh, am I not good enough? Am I doing this wrong? They don't like me. And then really being able to take a step back from making it personal and really tune into, where are the opportunities here? Where's the gift? Where's the learning? And so many learnings for me have come out of that challenging scenario that not only am I going to take into other talks, but also be able to share with my clients, share on live streams like this, obviously go deeper into it with my clients. But it was just so, just a really, really beautiful lesson. And so I just encourage you so much to move beyond your comfort zone. Do the things that scare you. Don't worry about not everybody getting you. Don't worry about the criticism and the critique, and really tune into, where are the opportunities for learning here, and how can I evolve? What do I need to take on board? What do I need to release? And obviously the thing that underpins all of that is really knowing your message, knowing who you are, and then really cultivating the confidence to share that and take a stand for your mission in your marketing communications, on your website, in all of the things that you do. So that is it. I hope that is useful to you, and I will see you for the next stream. I'm gonna end Insta. I'm just gonna check out some of the questions on Facebook. See you later, Insta. Check out some of my questions here if there are any. Hey, Nicola. I want another messaging challenge. It's coming. It's coming. You will be able to sign up for a free messaging challenge on the 15th of October. So watch this space, my darlings. I'm going to get you fired. Right, my lovelies. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that's useful, and I will speak to you soon.